The National Assembly today they are electing who should be the president of the Senate in the 10th Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The latest development unfolding is that Yari and Kalu have met together to form one formidable force in order to dislodge the interests of the incumbent president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, so that the 10th National Assembly can have independent operation and to chart the way forward other than being influenced by the executive. Yes, it's a pleasure having you, Mr. Matthews, and national analyst of great reports. You are most welcome to this edition of the Political Rumbles. What can you say concerning such development?
Thank you for having me. I think looking at the tenets of democracy and looking at the separation of power, it is understandable that the National Assembly is a different institution, just as we have the executive and we have the judiciary. And if our democracy must flourish, if we must deepen our democracy, that separation of power and their independence must not only be in principle, but it must also be in practice. So that is why most of us are worried when we started seeing the ruling party macrozoning the Senate presidency and the House of Rep speakership to Akpabio and Abbas respectively. So I think I'm particularly happy that we have seen some Nigerians who want to stand their ground and says democracy must thrive. That against all odds, they are contesting against the another candidates of the APC, both for the speakership and the Senate president. Looking at the dynamics that may shape today's election, because I can understand that today the 10th Assembly will formally be inaugurated, and we are going to have the election of the leadership and the principal officers today. So it is no longer a rumor that all the effort of the executive, the party leadership, even the vice president himself, who support for Kalu, have always hit a brick wall. Because I understand that even yesterday, a meeting that was summoned by the groups drumming support for Akpabio, they were boasting of having 70 senators elect, but it turned out that only 52 senators elect attended. And it is even difficult to say the 52 senators that are elect that attended are going to cast their vote for him. So it goes to show that if all things being equal, that is not yet the huru for Akpabio. That the likes of Senator Yari from Zamfara State, the former governor of Zamfara State, and Kalu, who have decided to form a formidable team, may have what it takes to carry the day. Particularly as the major opposition party, PDP, is not comfortable with Akpabio's aspiration. Because according to PDP, Akpabio is not to be trusted, having been the minority leader in the upper chamber and abandoned the people he was leading halfway and defected to APC. So to that extent, if PDP is to make use of their numerical strength as a major opposition leader in the House and perhaps synergize with other minorities, political parties in the House like Labour Party, ABGA, and all that, and maybe leverage on some of the support they may have from APC senators, members elect.
Are you saying that this will be a paid part time for Akpabio for the perceived atrocities and betrayal of trust on the part of the PDP?
Definitely, if you are made a leader and midway into your leadership you abandon your subjects and you rock the boat, the ship, for me such person is not worthy to be a leader and is not worthy to be trusted with position of responsibility as big as the Senate presidency. So for me, I think PDP, like you just said, it may be a payback time, because PDP cannot forget in a hurry the travail, the trauma they suffered in the hand of Akpabio after abandoning them in midway into the 8th Assembly or so by defecting, by jettisoning his membership of PDP and defecting to APC.
And it seems they have adopted an indirect voting system where individuals, or secret ballot system where individuals can go to vote without, of course, uh, being exposed to the people or knowing who they voted for. Don't you think this would be, of course, a surprise? A surprising might spring up in the course of this. And now that they have seen that the influence of the executive is so powerful that if they eventually relinquish their authority to the executive, they may not, of course, cry out later in the course of this administration.
Definitely, personally, I'm advocate of internal democracy in every aspect of our democracy. So if they are going for the indirect primary, a situation where you are vote clandestinely, nobody know who you casted your vote for me is the way to go. Because if you allow them to go and be on camera and the whole world, maybe Mr. President is watching as they cast their vote, definitely going to have a way of influencing who they vote for. Because we all know the influence the president of Nigeria with in Nigerian states. So if you vote against his choice and it's clear to him that you voted against his choice, you have a way of imparting on your own personality and even your political career. So to that extent, I will be very happy if the voting pattern should take secret, open secret, so that you take your ballot box paper in the open, you thumbprint, you go to the secret place and thumbprint, and perhaps come back and cast your votes. So for me, if they adopt that approach, it will help the senators elect to vote their mind and conscience.
Mr. President has been known to be a strategist and a Maradona in terms of meandering or maneuvering issues in his favor. As the Jagaban of Lagos, he has held, of course, and controlled the political space within Lagos for 24 years. Do you think that tendency of taking it all, or having control of all, or having his opinion, I mean, scaling through at all times, could be replicated in the national scale?
Well, let me quickly tell you that Nigeria is a secular state and Nigeria is a complex society different from Lagos State. I can understand that Mr. President, Senator Bola TINUBU is the one that originated the slogan of Omelokan in Lagos State or in Nigeria generally, and is the one that has initiated the slogan of Baba Sokwe, quick goes to say that Baba has spoken. Everybody fall in line. But I don't think we are likely going to see that at the level of national. Because we are talking of a society where you had people with from different cultural background, different political ideology, and all that. So it's unlikely that everybody will be whipped into line or will readily be cowed by the presence or the influence or rather the aura that comes with the office of the president when Mr. President speaks. Because if you look at in the first instance when they needed to macrozone the leadership of National Assembly and they approach him, he was not willing to give a definite position. He asked them to wait for the party to decide. So he got to show that he's aware, or rather he's not unaware, that Nigeria is a complex society, that the Baba Sokwe thing will not be easily entrenched at the national level.
Now, considering the three arms of government, the presidency is already with the Southwest, pending the outcome of the tribunal or litigation. Now, the Chief Justice, which is the judiciary, is also from the Southwest. Will it be fair enough to have, of course, the Senate President from the South? What about the North? wouldn't their interests be protected at this particular time?
That is actually the position of the northern stakeholders when they converge at Arewa House in Kaduna State. That hence the south have taken two arms of government, leadership of two arms of government, that the other arm of government, that is the leadership of National Assembly, should come to the north. But again, it's yet to be seen whether they will follow through their resolution or they will concede, because there's another argument from the angle of the president and the vice president trying to woo the northern stakeholders to support Akpabio in order not to make the government look as if it's a Muslim agenda. But again, it's yet to be seen whether the likes of Yari will concede to that, because at the time people were putting pressure on the president before the election to concede to a Christian running mate, and he refused. So he has to be seen whether, hence he refused to trade with his ambition. It has to be seen whether the likes of Yari will trade with their ambition for purpose of national unity and national cohesion.
What does that has to do with development and the development of the masses and ensuring dividends of democracy? In the last dispensation, almost the three arms of government were from the north. We have where Tanko is the Chief Justice, Buhari is the President, and Lawan also presides as the uh, Senate President. So, could it be considered that the North always push hard when their interest seems not to be protected, but when they are at ease with whatever is happening, regardless that it might not be fair to other parts of the country, they will feel relaxed and cover up?
To be quite honest with you, I think it is only the north that has that capacity and that effrontery to take all and nobody will question their authority. I don't think the current leadership or the current president can do that and succeed. Because even as we speak currently, the north is already threatening that the south is already having it all. So it's unlikely that a TINUBU will have that boldness or effrontery to do things in a lopsided manner the way Buhari did it. To be quite honest with you, Buhari gave appointment that was so lopsided to the extent that if you look at security positions, you have about 17 positions that start from the Office of National Security Advisor, Chief of Defence Staff, Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, name it, all the service chiefs. There are about 17. The north was having 14, leaving about 3 to the south. So I don't think any southern president can think of doing that, because the north would definitely pay the person back in the next round of election.
Okay, I believe that Yari Audios or Carlos tickets possibly might end up becoming a thorn in the flesh of the president, who might not likely, of course, uh, take it lightly with them. Possibly he needed somebody that will be, of course, at his beck and call. But do you think that that is what Nigeria need at this time to chart the way forward?
To be quite honest with you, like I said earlier on, the National Assembly is a distinct arm of government. And they are not saying the executive, because they have a majority of senators elect, they should not have a way of trying to influence their members or who to vote for. But if you now make it a stooge of the executive by handpicking and choosing who becomes the leadership of the National Assembly, the Senate President, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, for me, is not a good omen for our democracy, because you are, according as we all know, that power corrupt and absolute power corrupt absolutely. So we are going, if that happens, the National Assembly is going to be an appendage of the executive, which is not healthy for our democracy.
Indeed, on this note, we call it a day for this section. It's been a wonderful time listening to Corewave TV. Thank you for your time, great analyst. And please kindly hit the subscription button Give us a tons of like the video, share it as we continue to relate to you the in-depth analysis of events within the Nigerian's political, social, and economic space as in the heart. Keeping it real has been our commitment, and to this end, we have come.